speaking about the logs that were shared by the NASA flag bearer, that is Raila Odinga, about what he alleges to have been someone who logged into the IEBC systems using the late Chris Musando's identity. Well, how true are these allegations? And we were speaking to Hannington Mambo, who is a systems analyst. Do these allegations even make any sense? Is it possible that a dead man's identity, sorry to bring this out in the news, can be used to log into a system?
There are actually several things about this log, and I'll try to break them down. And allow me, just as I'm doing this, sometimes we are accused as the IT experts that we assume everybody understands what we are talking about.
Yes.
So let's just look at what hacking is and what it means in this case. So hacking basically means someone gaining access into a system that they're not authorized to access, and with can be various reasons for doing that. Maybe to alter data, to delete it, to change the status, or in this case, to change the number of votes that are recorded against various candidates.
Right.
Now, for that to happen, somebody has to either collude with someone inside the organization to gain the access credentials required to access that information, or they could use other means, either steal it or use what would be called brute force. There are some systems that can be forced to admit access from external parties. Now, in this case, we are talking about someone gaining access into the IEBC database using the password of Mr. Chris Musando, who passed on a few, I think about a week ago. And two things about that. One, if there was a possibility to access this system using biometrics, that is not possible like several days or weeks after somebody is already dead.
Biometrics, we're talking about fingerprints.
Yes, here we are talking about fingerprints. Those fingerprints will have run cold, and the systems will not be able to detect them. But then again, you have to look at the other side. It is very rare that even if a system has to be accessed by a biometric, that somebody would have only the biometric as the only access way to access the system. So he could have had passwords that he could also use in cases where he didn't want to use the biometric or in cases where they failed.
All right. Steve, I would like to hear from you. From your perspective, what do you want to know in all of this? Because I guess you will be representing a number of Kenyans who actually do not understand even the basic of this log that was shared on Twitter. Because as far as I understand, there's not much that can be picked out of this log that was shared by Raila Odinga on his Twitter handle, because all it shows is some failed login attempts and nothing much more. For that to be broken down, I guess we are going to need your help. But Stephen, I'd like to find out from you, what do you want to know at this point in time?
First, I think we need to understand that Kenyans came out in large numbers to vote. And I think for the last 5 years, Kenyans have gotten tired of the rhetoric of politicians. So we came out in large numbers to be able to endorse the kind of leaders who want to manage this country. Whether the leaders are good or bad, we came out in large numbers. And we believed in the system and in the process to be able to endorse our voices and our choices. Unfortunately, the allegations made by the Honorable Raila Odinga cannot be taken lightly, because at the end of the day, he commands a huge chunk of this country, and a lot of people respect him and listen to him. And his allegations have muddied the choices of the people. They've left, his allegations have left a bitter taste in our mouths, because we came out in large numbers. And for me personally, I really don't care who's won. What I want to know is, can the system be trusted to give us the leaders we picked yesterday? And whether it's him, whether it's Uhuru, whether it's any other candidate, we want to believe as a Kenyan. I mean, I'm a lawyer, and honestly, I need to interrogate whatever Raila is talking about for me to be able to understand. And I'm glad I'm sitting here with experts who are trying to make head and tail of this. But ordinary Kenyans across the country, all they want to know is, when are we going to get our results? And can issues that Raila raised be addressed with humility? With accuracy and with speed. Because now, one, IEBC taking time to respond to this is creating unnecessary tension. Two, IEBC coming out with arrogance and rudeness is not really something that Raila supporters want to hear. But we would like, you see, we came out in large numbers to endorse one leader to guide this country. And if either, whoever it is, IEBC have the honors and the burden to actually come out and respond to each allegation one by one as mandated by the law, so that we can be able to move on as a country. Because right now we feel lost. We feel wondering what's really happening. And 7 days to wait for the results in a country that prides itself being efficient in terms of ICT development and infrastructure doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Take a look at this tweet here. Alex Chicks Wanjohi, you're saying NASA claiming that IEBC systems were hacked are just allegations or just the last kicks of a dying horse? So you know this is contrary to what you're saying. There are people who strongly believe that, you know, what he's alleging could actually be truth. But then there are people who are just thinking that this could just be kicks of a dying horse.